Today, we're reporting on an iNEMI member-led project, the Eco-Design Best Practices for a Circular Electronics Economy. In mid-2021, the project team organized a series of interactive webinars featuring experts from leading electronic organizations to talk about their eco-design projects. The 6 companies that participated in the webinar series were Nokia, Samsung, Schneider Electric, Fairphone, Adva Optical, and Google. These webinars were an avenue for the eco-design leaders to showcase their thought processes, their strategies, their successes and failures. And we're glad to share what we learned from them about these best practices with you. So in this video, we're going to highlight one of the 3 best practices, collaboration. Eco-design projects were successful through collaborative cross-discipline discussion. Samsung told us about how they brought together experts at their developers conference and tasked them to think through how to encourage upcycling of their phones.
Awareness around the concept. So what we wanted to do was to spark the imagination. And so we described an environment where you could imagine a hub, a web service, if you will, that would be hosted by Samsung. Something like this doesn't really exist today, where users can come to this hub, they can bring their devices, they can download software that's necessary, or operating system that's necessary to change your phone into being a phone, which it's really good at. Android or iOS is great at being a phone, but it's not good at doing anything else. So wouldn't it be great if we could scrub that, put on an operating system that was good at communicating with other devices and doing other things, and then also provide connectivity to parts and companies that were providing parts that you could connect to your old cell phone, and ideas or recipes, and sort of a user group for people to share ideas. And so that's really what the idea was, and it was very well received.
Samsung's idea is to bring together users and suppliers to share ideas and make changes. And during Google's presentation, we learned from an industrial designer and material science engineer that their collaboration is essential.
Our teams, amongst many others, work really closely to try and blend art and science, working towards creating more sustainable and circular products.
Internal teams as well as external partners are all needed in order to support eco-design initiatives and projects. Both Schneider Electric and Nokia spoke to the industry-wide need for collaboration. Schneider knows that circularity is a winning strategy for all stakeholders, including the customers, the company, the government, and the planet.
What we are seeing now, and that's pretty interesting, that some customers or resellers are telling us that it would be already agree to pay same for a second-hand product or even more for a new product with clear environmental benefits. So we are now trying to see that the green aspect of a product can become a key decision aspect into the decision process, and that's make me pretty optimistic when you see that it's not only cost now. The green aspect is also very important.
And let's hear what Nokia had to say about being able to speak to the same language and working together in order for all disciplines to collaborate.
And then I think I'm in the last slide, which is a bit of the conclusion. So I mentioned many times terms. That's really where everything is starting from. In telecom industry, we are now in preparation of the standards to define all these circular economy related words, what they really mean. So we all need to speak the same language and understand each other before we can start collaborating through our supply chain. But then also performance. In many cases, changing something, it's not easy to do drop-in solution. So just change the material and you are good to go. But really, we need to work with our designers and engineers to see if the specs we have, specifications we have set for our products, are they still valid if we are changing to recycled content? Could we allow more contamination in the materials? And maybe we could allow different kind of alloys as well. Measurements data, really important. Before setting targets, you need to know your baselines. You need to understand the process. And then naturally, this is a business, so pricing as well. And that was one of the comments from our suppliers saying that, well, post-consumer recycling possible, but still it really takes, it's expensive because of the logistics collecting from all around the world, instead of like having one unified factory waste material, which you can get a big amount of, and you know the content. And so there's always this that needs to be taking into account not only the price on material, but also the processes and getting things in one place.
There's so much more that we can do industry-wide to ensure collaboration is prioritized. Let us use eco-design as an excuse to enhance our relationships and our communication across the supply chain. Here's Fairphone's response to a question about working together.
I would say sometimes it's surprising what can be done if you just ask for it. So sometimes things seem to be not possible, but it's just because nobody's asking for them. So that's so I would say feel free to ask, and then might be that it's not possible. But we encounter, for example, on the use of recycled plastics, which we are using in Fairphone 3, and we have some developments on the pipeline. We realized that it was, I would not say easy, but simpler than we thought, to get to higher recycled plastic percentages on our devices. So that was one, and others I would say. That's a good question. So, for example, connectors for us are very important as well, and over because of the modules, obviously, and we've learned a lot about connectors and what works and what doesn't work. From Fairphone 2 to Fairphone 3, there has been quite some changes, and that has also been together with the suppliers, obviously. Often it's not very often that somebody asks that to design a module that you need to be able to remove a certain amount of times of a module, and it needs to be easy to be done by a customer, because maybe that's something that we didn't say or we didn't stress so much, but the modularity in the end is to facilitate that customers repair their phones themselves as well. We obviously have our own repair center. So we believe that if we make it so easy that anybody can do it at home, then of course at the repair center is also much more cost effective and faster to do. But I would say that, like the plastics and the connectors, that's definitely something we've learned.
Collaboration is essential to eco-design product. Data and information must be evaluated by various experts, including multiple engineering disciplines and designers. Manufacturers should feel free to ask how to incorporate eco-design principles. While the implementation might be hard, asking is easy. For more information on the project team, the project's objective, and the results, please watch our end of project webinar.